Cristian, thank you for joining us. We don't know each other, so I would love to hear a little bit about you. Where are you at? Where are you from? And what brought you to the film industry?
Okay, where I'm physically at the moment, Montreal. Where I come from, Italy. There's a little bit of a complicated, no, not complicated, but I mean like intricate story because I originally come from the south of Italy, from Avellino, that is near Naples. And because of my father's job, we moved quite a lot when I was like a kid. So I moved like in the southers, like in Puglia and Brindisi, and then I moved in Bologna, where my family is right now. And then by myself, when I went to study CG, actually, VFX, I went to Milan, and then where my professional career started in Milano, actually, because there was like, and it's still probably the most important city for the VFX. There's something still in Rome, even if Rome back in the day was the main area to do movies and everything. The movies are still done there, but majority of the post production, especially 20 years ago when I started, was in Milan because it was more the economical capital in Italy, something like that. So that was the reason why I was there. Probably the fact that I traveled a lot since I was like a kid make me part of where I am at the moment. So I mean, like the fact that I'm very easy to move around and to travel. So also the fact that when I started to do this job, I started almost instantaneously to work from everywhere rather than Italy. I worked for only 2 years in Italy, honestly. And since I found it very limiting because of the market was not that big, I decided to start to travel. So I went first to LA to explore how Los Angeles was back in the day. And to not do it like just as a vacation, I did like a couple of courses at normal school. So I found like a couple of things that were not really my core, let's say, business or interest, like sculpting, digital anatomy, something that I never done it and probably will never do, but I've studied it because I like to explore new things. So I went to Norman. I went to see like how it was the school there, if it was like what was the difference between the kind of school that I did when I was in Italy, to see if the problem that I was not able to work on cool project was because I was not good enough or because the market was not good enough for me. So there was a little bit of like reality check when I went back in the day. We're talking about 18 years ago, 17 years ago, something like that. Yeah. It's like it's I think it's the biggest in the US or the most famous because many high-end professional went there to study and then now they are teachers and stuff like that. So the owner is Alex Alvarez, and it's a very well-known figure in the industry, in the teaching and in the business. So yeah, I had the chance also to meet like him and meet many other professional or student that became then professional. So back in the day, I met also other people. One of the guy was the guy that modeled later on Iron Man, for instance. So it was like, you met like those people that were young kids when I was already a professional, and then they had the chance to work on cool projects. So I had the chance also to meet Alex Alvarez, and I showed him my reel. So I said, like, I had the gut to go to the guy. I stopped him in the corridor. I say, can I show you my reel? I want your honest opinion. So it was super nice. It brought me to his office. It looked at my reel and said, like, honestly, if you were in the US, if you're American, you will find a job next morning. So with that, I said, okay, I made peace of mind. I said, okay, probably I'm good enough for this job. So I went back to Italy with a different mindset. I decided to not work anymore for a small company in Italy, but just to look for opportunity abroad. So I had my first opportunity in PXLmondo Shanghai. So I went to PXLmondo Shanghai, then I went to Framestore London, then back to PXLmondo Shanghai. Then I went back to England in general, mainly London, to freelance around different kind of companies. Majority of the project I worked on were commercial. And I was happy about that because I was developing my skill set as a generalist. And that shaped my knowledge as a CG supervisor and VFX supervisor later. So I have like, I'm not saying that I know everything, but I touch a little bit of everything to have enough knowledge to understand where things can go and how I can give proper feedback to the people. So that's, I think, was my natural inclination. And that's what I did basically. So yeah, long story short, that was the thing.
Well, and also, I mean, having a broad range like that really helps with understanding the pipeline and understanding everyone's needs on the pipeline. I find because not that I come from a production background, but I try to at least understand all of, all the different steps and all, and everyone's needs and frustrations and everything else. Because, if you're just kind of stuck in your one sort of mindset or your one shoebox, I mean, this goes for everything in life, but just talking about visual effects for a minute, then it's hard to see sort of outside, the people who are depending on you and the people who you're passing things along to and everything. So, yeah, so that's great. So you have sort of a wider range of all
Mhm.
the things, and
Yeah.
I'm sure that makes you a better artist overall. So what
Yeah.
about? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I absolutely agree with what you said. That's I think one of the biggest problem in the industry in general, in our industry, but I think in general in any kind of like workflow or like big pipeline and services and everything is that people forget that we are part of a bigger machine. And if you don't care about who's before and after you, and you care only about your little box, and you say, no, I don't care, I do my little things, then you're losing the big picture and you're not thinking ahead and you are not trying to prevent issue, and everything goes like that. So even like when I work with producers, where producers were very well open to discussion, and other that were very like, no, 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 we need to do like this because my Excel sheet says that. So like, doesn't really work like that because like we
No.
cannot encapsulate the production as an Excel sheet because that Excel sheet doesn't take into consideration pipeline issue, people issue,
Yeah.
whatever is happening. So the reality is we need to be all more generalist in the industry. That's why I was speaking with my producer and I was asking them, okay, explain me how you plan your things, because maybe I can tell you something that can help you to plan it better and to make like a better plan that is more realistic rather than make it work only on paper. Because if it works on paper but doesn't work in reality, that's where the problem comes. So it's always a
Yeah.
matter of like trying to be open to discussion and open to understand the other point of view and put yourself in someone else's shoes. That can be an artist, can be the coordinator, can be the producer, the VFX, or even the clients, and say why the client is asking me those things. How I can interact with the clients in a way that I can convince him to do something different. So, you know,
Yeah, it's super important. Dialogue is super important, and that's one of the downsides. I find that there are very few downsides of the whole work from home thing, because I think it's generally been an overall net positive for me personally and also for the industry. But I go in when I'm on a project. I go in every day, but I don't usually go in all day. I go in because I want to see things on the big screen, especially if you're delivering a film. So that part, I need for my own edification and also just for quality control and everything else. But the net. So the work from home thing has been a net positive, but one of the negative things is that I find that we become a bit disconnected. So it's really easy to type an angry chat, and this is the problem again, like worldwide overall. But it's really easy to type an angry comment or like in the group chat, or get frustrated with people. When you're not in the same room as them and asking about their kids or their day or their hobbies or their pickleball or whatever it is. Like I feel that part is not so great, because we definitely need to just talk to each other and understand each other overall. But I always say when clients and people are asking, depends on who the client is. Some of them are not receptive to this sort of thing. But sometimes I say, we're not talking about an Excel spreadsheet or a piece of paper. These are artists, they're human beings in creating art on machines. So this is organic. We can't just schedule it into a box. It has to be a little bit more organic, and we have to understand certain things. That's why we give ourselves lots of time, or we try to, for delivery and everything else. But uh
oh, I
yeah.
I know. I mean, like I agree with you. The point is there are a couple of factors also on the artist side. I tend to agree with the fact that working from home it's better. I mean, like I like it. I love it. to stay home, to not, especially here in Montreal when it's like minus 35 outside, minus 40 outside, that you have to walk to the office or whatever. So it's not very pleasant. Or when you do overtime, you come out of the office like at 9, 10, 1, 2 in the morning. And then you have still to go home and do everything. And also like all your spare time, the time that you save. I was lucky because I was always walk distance from the office. I choose to be walk distance from the office. So I was like 20, 25 minutes walk. So it was also good. But anyway, it's 1 hour every day you're losing. But there are people that do like commuting of 1 hour and a half, 2 hours per day. So it's like you're losing 2 hours per day in a week. You lost over a day of work just commuting. That it's ridiculous. On the other side, I have to say that I love the vibe that you have at the office. I remember when I was like in NBC, we were like almost 2,000 people in 2 buildings. And I was walking around the corridor because I was going from one meeting to another, meeting people, even for 2 minutes, you chit chat. How you doing? Oh, we can go for a movie, or we can go for a beer later. Or like you go in the cafe, you have a drink, and you get to know the other person more personally. And so even when comes like very bad situation in the project where we are all stressed out, the fact that you know the other person, even if in that moment you come out with a comment that is not exceptionally nice, that person will take it in a different way because you know there's a more bonded relationship that you establish as a human being. And
Yeah, and
also
more
for the very
context. Yeah.
junior, yeah, for the very junior people, I see a lot of the fact that they cannot really connect with someone else and learn, and it and they become like a little bit more like disconnected from how we work in production. Because for someone that is already senior, sure, you can work from home, that's no problem. But for someone that is a junior, starting and building your own work ethic without being never being in the office and stuff like that, it's a bit more complicated. So I see most of the time the junior struggle more than senior on the work from home setup. And so, I mean, like that again, there's pros and cons. I would not mind to come back to the office if it would be like 5 years ago, full of people,
Yeah.
full of vibes, all in the office. If it's an hybrid things where I go in the office, I have to sit down in a room with other supervisor behind me. We all shout or not shout, but speak like on microphone, and we have to wear the headphones, and then we're disturbing each other. And at my home, I have my own setup. Everything is calm, no room, no problem, no issue, big screen, everything is working. So I feel less productive if I go to the office now rather than stay
Now,
home.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
or,
it's
you go full back or you don't. There's no,
yeah,
the hybrid solution doesn't really work for me.
yeah, it is definitely disconnected. I mean, here in Toronto, I mean, I don't know, Montreal is a little bit like this, but I think you guys have like a bit less people, but fewer people, sorry. But here they're mandating back to work for government workers and stuff, and for a lot of people. And wow, I mean, we don't have the infrastructure for that. We don't have proper transit. We don't have proper anything, roads. We don't have enough of anything to mandate that. Because now, I mean, the population has exploded even since COVID, even since the work from home. Like, it's not the same city as it was 6 years ago. So we can't like it's just not possible. So I mean, maybe it could be some kind of a thing, which is what I did on my last project, which was 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We all come together and make sure that we're all on the same page, we're looking at the same thing in the same room, and then everybody goes home, or something like that, where because I'm a parent as well, and I know a lot of parents are really struggling with this whole back to work thing, because of drop off and pick up and all this other stuff. So, there has to be some solution, but right now this is not it, mandating every single person back, because there's, here in Toronto anyway, because there's no infrastructure to support that.
Yeah, but also, I
Um,
mean, like in the end, I think that company realize that there's also a lot of saving in money for renting, for seats, for
yes.
computer, for structure,
Yeah.
for everything. Like, I mean, like
Yeah.
again, if you imagine when I was like in NPC at this top level here in Montreal, we rented 2 buildings, 1,700 people, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, like it was like huge. Imagine how much it costed only in rent
Only
per
in
month.
rent.
and
It's
electricity
crazy.
and
Yeah.
computer and facilities management and everything. Now you can go full cloud, Amazon Workstation or whatever other system you want to use. You can have your machine configured and you can pay per use. So I don't use for a week, I don't pay. I don't have the machine there. No one has anymore a render farm, or barely no company has anymore any render farm, because you use like cloud render farm,
The cloud
because it doesn't
rendering.
make
Yeah.
any sense to render anymore. Even like maybe you have like a small to do like some tests, but I mean like back in the day, the investment in the hardware and in seats and everything was among us. And
Yeah. And the
again,
server
once
room and everything. Yeah.
yeah, and now
Um,
that the company, after a couple of years that didn't spend that money, they saw how much they saved. I don't know how much is how they're willing to go back to the office. I don't honestly, I don't really know even if the market require any more company of 2,000 people. Because
no.
nowadays, I mean,
Well,
like
that's the other, yeah, that's the other thing. I
the
mean,
thing is like, and I'm not opposite to that. I mean, like I have mix of feelings. I love the idea of like a big company that does a lot of things, but I will be honest and realistic. In 1,700 people, probably the really productive were not even the half of them. So
mm,
you can produce the same or even better quality with less people, more high end, that are very much focused rather than 1,000. I don't know if you ever saw that. There's a video of three professional football player versus 100 kids. There's a video like that.
I want to see it. Football, meaning not American football. You mean
It's
European
I'm talking
football,
about soccer. Sorry,
soccer. Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah.
European football. Okay, so it's like three professional football player, soccer player
Yeah.
versus 100 kids that are
Oh, I can't
running
wait to
without
see that.
any kind of control. And obviously, the three professional can score, and 100 kids can't. Obviously, it's a little bit different. But the point is like at some point you put the number in because the paper says that you need to have those
Yeah.
number of people in, but
Yeah.
it becomes so unorganized in the way you move people around that you lose
Hmm.
the productivity of the people. I'm not saying that they were not productive because they were not good, but if you take people off of a project for half a day, like when you have like, oh, I need that person for half a day, by the time that the person jump on your project,
Yeah.
open the stream, figure out what's happening, it's already gone 2 hours. He has 1 hour to work, and then there's a daily. How can be productive the person in 1 hour? It's
No,
better
I
to
know.
take the person off of a project for 1 week. You give them 1 week on another project, and that's another story. But that's the thing. I mean, like it works on paper as a
It
producer
works
to
on
say, "Oh,
paper. Yeah.
I'll take the person, I move it there like a unit." But you don't realize how much complicated can be, especially if you have to take over someone else's job. You need to open their setup, understand their setup, see what they did, understand the project. Because sometimes you have people jump on a project. Oh, I give you like this person for 2 days. Yeah, but I have to explain the person what we are trying to do. I don't have the time maybe to brief the person because I'm busy in other meeting. So that's why I'm saying like sometimes it's better less is more, because you
Hmm.
have less people to control, you know what to do, and you do it better. So maybe you can have a company of 1,000 people, but you need to have 200 people on a project, 200 people on a project, 200 people on a project, and that's it.
Yeah.
You don't move them around. Because if you
Like,
start to,
the only problem with that, though, the only thing I would say, because I agree with you, but the only other thing would be juniors. So a lot of those people are juniors, and you really need people who don't know what they're doing, because the people who don't know what they're doing will eventually know what they're doing. So you do need, and this is the problem with AI, and, we can talk about that in a minute, I guess, but,
yeah,
you know, the kids, the kids, I'm always saying that, the kids these days, if you learn everything from AI, or if you replace all the juniors with AI, then you don't have seniors 10 years from now or 20 years from now. You don't have those people because you didn't have the juniors that you taught in the first place.
yeah,
So I think all industries are struggling with that right now.
yeah. I mean, like again, there are like different point of view, AI, mentoring, teaching. Because I also do a lot of mentoring. I have my own brand for mentoring people. I always did training and tutoring for people. Most of the time I did it for free. I'm still doing like a lot of free helping people. I collaborate with many kind of program because I really strongly believe in the power of mentoring and how you mentor people and how you teach people. Problem nowadays that the knowledge, let's call it knowledge, it's available for everyone with no control. So you go on YouTube, you find 100 videos. Of those 100 videos, probably 90 videos are garbage.
Hmm.
but you are a junior, you have access to those things, and you go there and you learn those things, and you think that those things are good because for whatever reason you think that that person has a certain kind of um, is a respectable professional because he's there, he's teaching something. And
Yeah.
even like very well known school or online academy, if you go check who are the trainer, the tutors are not really high end professional, are maybe people that have experienced 1 or 2 years of experience. So what the hell are you teaching to the person if you barely know what you're teaching? So there's this kind of like, things that is vicious circle that is happening. And I
Hmm.
have many people coming and ask me to review their reel, to review their portfolio, and they ask me technical question, and they come out with something that for me is like, what the hell are you talking about? Who told you to do so? Oh, I got trained or I watched this tutorial there, and it was even a high-end tutorial. And I said, okay,
Right.
this is complete bullshit. Sorry if I'm saying that, but I mean, like, that's the thing.
That's all right.
So my point is like, people are more focused on learning how to press buttons rather than learning the concept behind it, the foundational knowledge. So when I do teaching, I do first teach uh, foundational knowledge and even what we were doing back in the day. I don't teach you Unreal or Arnold or whatever render engine you want to learn without telling you what a shader is, what a light
Hmm.
is, how it works, and what we replicate with the digital things, because we are replicating real life. So we need to understand how photography works, how light works in real life, then apply
Yeah.
those knowledge. But
Yeah,
that's
basics of photography is often I find missing. Because I went to film school, we had like the not that film school is necessary at all. I just to say, but when we used the 16 millimeter Bell and Howells, and we learned the basics of
mhm,
stops and frame rates and stuff like that. And we would use the little hand spun thingy to develop our photos in the photography part. Anyway, like those basic fundamentals and the fundamentals of light and things like that, sometimes that's sort of missing now for a lot of the people coming up, or even just people of our generation, because
mhm.
they never really learned those fundamentals of filmmaking or fundamentals of photography, or even like composition and things like that. It's very important. It's not to be overlooked. It is not to be overlooked, let me just say.
Absolutely. Now you find people that knows like, oh, they know ZBrush like super good, but they miss the anatomy knowledge. And
Yes, yeah.
they place the bones in the wrong place, the landmark in the wrong place. And that's why I say like I don't use my knowledge as a when I study like a normal school, I never use it, but I know how to look at anatomy. I know how to look like in a very basic way. So when I see those people that are very good in ZBrush and they're sculpting pores and everything, and then the basic structure of the model is wrong,
Yeah.
and you say like, okay, you're focusing on the pores and on the micro detailing, and then your basic model is wrong. So that's the
And
thing.
this
And it's the
is
same with lighting. You see that they
yeah.
place like 20 light in a scene. I say like, why are you doing so? Oh, because I was trying to fix this. No, you don't fix. You do it as a base. You do it as a photographer does, and then you try to fix it. If you start to fake, when I see people that start to do light linking of an object, so I do a light only to light that object. You're faking it. You're forcing it. You're forcing the reality. That's why it doesn't look good. Start first with how a photographer would do it, how a director of photography would light an object or a scene. And then you do maybe some little shit here and there to do something very specific. But if you start cheating since the beginning, one light to light this object, one light to light this object, one light, at the end of the day, everything is unbalanced and everything doesn't look realistic because you are not doing it in the proper way. It's so
Yeah.
easy for me to understand it, but for them it's so complicated because they try to uh, skip steps.
Approximate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they approximate this. They want to reach the result right away rather than
Yeah.
do it in the proper way. So that's the thing, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, going back to the travel thing for a minute, when you travel, so I was just talking about this the other day with another guest, but when you travel, you can't unsee. you can't unsee the things that you've seen. Yeah, you can forget some things, but you can't unsee like a sunset on the Pacific coast. You can't unsee like a beautiful Gothic, not neo-Gothic, but proper Gothic building. You can't unsee the things that you've seen. So it's wired into your mind. So traveling and even getting like art books like this, going to museums,
Yeah.
um, it's so important for any artist at all, no matter what kind of artist you are, just to
It's
understand.
visual education. If you don't have
Hmm.
visual education, and even like watching movies, old movies, the way
Old
old
movies,
movies
yeah,
were done, the
yeah,
pace, the rhythm, the kind of cameras that were used, the kind of angle that were used, the photography that was used back there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
those things, because if someone reference you when you are in a meeting, oh, we should do the scene like you remember that scene in The Godfather, and you never watched The Godfather. How in the hell you gonna understand it? Or the
How
Terminator?
crazy.
I know
Because
people that didn't watch Terminator. I mean, like, are you what's happening? You didn't watch Terminator? I mean, like, seriously, what's going on there? I mean, like, that's a point.
it's funny because you said Godfather, and I was right about to bring up The Godfather because Carlo, my husband, was watching The Godfather the other night, and I was putting the kids to bed, so I came down kind of like, 20 or so minutes through, 30 minutes, probably more like an hour, coming down. And I was like, what are you watching? Because, like, I'm hearing like almost nothing. And movies these days are so loud and so fast and so annoying. Not all of them. Some movies are beautiful. But I was like, what are you doing? Are you just staring at the screen? And then I go and I look and it's Godfather. I'm like, oh, right. Because the pacing used to be so different. And
Absolutely.
they used to give the scene time to breathe, right? Like
Yeah,
walking down
you
the
have time to
hallway.
digest that
Yeah.
information and to
Yeah.
absorb it and to enjoy it. Now you have
Yeah.
like in I don't know, 3 seconds you have probably 6 shots, like 20
Oh,
frames second shot, 20 frame shot length. So I mean, like,
a
what the
thousand
hell am I gonna?
percent.
And I remember was another funny thing was like again talking about visual culture and things. I'm very passionate also about martial art and things. So I was like I'm very big fan of Jackie Chan. So Jackie Chan was in an interview was saying that when he was working in Asia, in China, in Hong Kong, the way they were editing the movie was completely different from the American ones. When he came here and they start to edit the movie, the thing he was talking about was the fighting scene. So he said, like, here in America, when you have a fighting scene, they usually cut the shots when the punch is happening or the kick is happening. So your brain doesn't have the time to register the kick because you're already changing the scene. In China, instead, they overlap. So there's the punch happening. They
Yeah, like a
repeat
double cut.
the couple of 2, 3 frames. They overlap the 3 frames. So you have a 3, 5 frames longer scene. But in that way, you can really see the punch because your brain is registering from two different angles. So you understand where the scene is happening. And it's absolutely true. That little
Yeah.
trick changed completely the perception of the fighting scene. If you see a fighting scene, in the Chinese movie from Jackie Chan and in the first Chinese movie, because in the first American movies of Jackie Chan, you see the complete different. Then when he started to gain popularity, they started to listen to him. So he was also choreographer for his own stunts. So they let him do it in the edit also. But
That's
if you see
great.
the difference, completely different. And that was very important with when I did like a TV feature, TV series for Netflix. And I asked my animators to do the same thing, to repeat the same kind of effect, to
Yeah.
have a kick more readable in the animation. And that was funny because it's like, it actually was working.
Yeah, it's a good trick. And again, yeah, studying those older films or even, like traveling and seeing films from other regions. Italian films, on the other
Mm,
hand, are still like the old way, I find. My last project was a Hollywood movie, but the one before that was an Italian one. And I was blown away by the way it was being cut because it was like these long takes,
yeah.
long, beautiful takes. And I was like, wow, they still make movies like that here. Like I was shocked by it. And like some of the takes were like one take, I think was like 2 minutes long. And what was tough for us because we had to make a 2-minute long CG thing happen. But, for the beauty of the film, I was like, wow, wow, we do not do that here, you know? So, yeah, it was neat to see. It was like totally old school filmmaking over there. So,
Yeah,
um,
like the in a way, it's a good thing. In a way, it's a bad thing because the kind of movie that we do in Italy are not like the blockbuster movies. So, not
no.
doing blockbuster movies, rather than some director that are doing something that is more interesting, but still a little bit more Italian style.
Hmm.
But we don't do movies that require like crazy edits, so you can still enjoy. And we have a lot of movies that are like very much story based. That I think is
Yes.
what is missing at the moment in Hollywood. Hollywood is
Yeah.
completely missing the story. They just want to make money with it, and that's the big problem that we are having. Sure, we have a lot of job in the VFX, but at the end of the day, the film sucks because there's no story. And again, like I love a lot of the Marvel and things, but all those movies I watched them once.
And you watch them for
While
a specific reason. You watch them because you want to
yeah,
just be entertained, and then that's it,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you watch it once and that's it. You probably twice. If you look at back at like The Goonies, I watch it probably 10, 15 times. Or like other like masterpiece from the past. The old Indiana Jones, I watched them multiple times.
Yeah.
Back to the Future, or like all the others, like the Old Glory. You
Die Hard.
continue to watch them. And you
Yeah.
still see the same issue on the cameras, and you say, "Oh, look at that! There's lens flaring camera. There's the
Yeah.
issue here." But you don't care
You
because the
don't care.
movie is
Yeah.
so beautiful that you don't
Yeah.
care about the, sorry again the term, the pixel fucking thing. Now we
Yeah.
are also focused on, oh, they need to be all perfect, all things, all that, and then there's no story.
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember we received feedback about like a snowflake. Remove the snowflake from the
Oh, yeah.
frame
Oh, yeah.
25 because it's passing in front of the eye of the actor.
Oh,
Seriously, well,
yeah.
when you're outside, you control the weather, and you
The
want me
average
to control.
person Yeah, the average person has no idea the notes that we get. Like,
Oh, but
a
that's about. But
snowflake yeah, there's always snow issues. Snow is
yeah, but
It's snowing right now. I'm gonna go shoot some elements today.
yeah, exactly. But that's the point. Like where when we stop to make movies and when we start to do pixel, that's where the problem starts.
Yeah.
And again, it's all about the money making thing, and it's all about like not having the right people doing the movies. So like, 'cause when you see when you have the right people doing the right movies, like you can see them.
You
Like
can see it. Yeah.
uh,
And unfortunately, a couple of them came out this year, but I can't watch them because they're too tragic. And again, I'm a parent. So, Hamnet is like, the big movie this year, and it's supposed to be beautiful. And I've seen clips of it, and it's absolutely gorgeous and heartbreaking and stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't watch that because I have 3 boys, and I know what happens in that movie because it's in the, it's in the little blurb.
mhm.
And I just like, I'm not there yet, maybe in 20 years or something. But that's an example of a film that has come out that is, more shot in a classic way. Tons of VFX though, tons of beautiful invisible VFX. So there
Yeah,
can be a marriage between beautiful stories and beautiful VFX also. So
it's funny that we always need to underline there are like invisible VFX, or there are like the bad CGI things that happened like last year and this year still happening. And it's ridiculous the fact that we need to every time underline if you're doing effects, VFX or not, what we're doing, how we're doing. Who the hell cares? Who the
yeah,
hell cares? We care
yeah,
about doing movies. VFX are part of the movie and are at the service of the movie. So when the problem is like we lost the collaboration between us and the client, the director, and everything. There are only few movies when there's a close collaboration and you can see it. In other is like we just get treated as a service, completely disconnected from the production, while we
yeah,
should be involved since the beginning, since the initial storytelling ideas, because we can provide valid information and valid comments to the story, to the storyboard, to our approaching things. Because if me as an expert, I can watch a storyboard, I can read the story, I can suggest maybe, you know what, based on your budget, we can change this camera slightly So we're going to see less of the background. So we're going to spend less money where it's not needed. If we were more involved in the storytelling process and in really how much money you have, we want to work together to make the best movie possible. Let's
Yeah.
stop to play this dance where you come to me, you ask me how much I want, and then you go to other 20 vendors, ask the same things, and then we have the battle on the little chipping the bidding here and there, trying to accommodate the request of the client. And then in the end of the day, we all know that it's all bullshit because we do the price higher in the beginning, so we're gonna skim it later, and then we know that the client will request other things later, and that these all like there's a bullshit dance that we do every time on every project that is stupid. Everyone knows it. Everyone pretend that this doesn't exist. And it's all like destroying the whole process. So let's be honest. If you have 2
Yeah.
million, tell me that you have 2 million. If you have 20 million, tell me you have 20 million. And then we work around your budget with ideas, with creative ideas. We want to use AI. Sure, we can use also AI, but need to be done properly, not just to cut the budget, because that solution can give us the way to do it, respecting the quality, respecting the artist, respecting the process, and do like a proper thing. So
Hmm.
again, we said that we were discussing about AI. So AI for me is a tool. It's a tool that will be part of our toolbox, but need to be done in the proper way. So it doesn't need to be used only to cut cost. It needs to be used to produce high quality in a faster way, but always like with the mindset of creative and filmmaking mindset. So that's my opinion. I'm using it. I'm trying it. I'm testing it. I'm not saying that it's not the devil. It's nothing like that. If we use it properly, if we use it with the
Yeah, if it
respect,
serves the story, right?
if it's
So
serving the
it
story,
needs to serve the story like
yeah, if
everything, you
it's
know?
of the story if it's done in an ethical way, not stealing artist's job or like lauras from artists that are like not they don't want their job to be machine learned, if I can say so. But that's the problem. I mean, like there's a lot of things that need to we cannot stop AI. That's a matter of fact. That we are not in the position of
Yeah.
saying no, we're not gonna do it, we're not gonna use it because even if a big company say, no, we're going to be super ethical, we're never going to use AI, bullshit, they're going to use it.
Everybody's already using it. If you're banking, if you're walking outside of your
Yeah,
house and using anything technology driven,
absolutely.
you're already using it.
Absolutely.
So, anyone who says they'll never use AI, well, you better get your cabin in the woods because
Yeah.
you're already using it. We're using it right now. The
Yeah.
subtitles are auto-generate, although I have to fix almost all of them, but at least it puts a
Yeah. It
baseline
puts a very
out.
base one. Yeah.
So I don't have to type every single word myself. It just slaps it in there and then I correct everything.
Yeah.
But still,
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely.
know,
No, no, I'm not
um,
saying that for if you have to do researches or if you have to do like a quick mock-up, if you have to do something very, very fast. Again, it need to always be used. When I see people, I mean, like obviously now you see like all the AI guru online that try to sell courses to people. Oh, now a VFX budget of 200 million, you can do it for free in your home. Bullshit. It's not the
well,
reality. So that's another
yeah,
thing. I mean, like, if AI is in the hand of professional that know how to use things, they know how to do VFX in the proper way. That's where you have it at its best.
hmm
When you have it on an application on your phone or like even like online and things like that, first of all, no client will give you the NDA to go online and put their stuff on a uh, cloud service that they don't know where it's going. So no way you can use like the online methodology. So the only way you can use at the moment probably is Confi UI, that is done locally, and even there you have to see if you can use it and what kind of things you are doing. But that's why I mean, like when they say we use it in VFX, that's the only tool that can use really to do things in a VFX kind of standard, replicatable, procedural and pipeline friendly way that
right,
doesn't violate any NDA or anything. It's the only way.
right,
But again,
right.
and again, but it requires knowledge. It's not that you go there and say, "Do me this." Magic happen. No,
No,
absolutely.
no,
When you
no.
want to do it in a proper way, if you want to do like experimentation, stupid things online, do it. Play around with it, but don't say that that's what is killing VFX or that's will replace VFX. So it's not the truth. And I don't like when people take advantage of the ignorance of whoever want to buy their courses because they're selling bullshit. And this happened also in the regular VFX, to be honest. The regular VFX, like training tutorial kind of things. You see people selling like all sort of things just to sell their courses. And I mean, I don't find it ethical. I don't find it honest. I don't find it nice.
It's not ethical to and people making books out of AI and slapping it together, and
Oh
there's
yeah,
all kinds of courses about that too, and how to take ChatGPT and Canva and make a book. Well, guys, that's not ethical because you don't know what you're talking about. So you can't just ask ChatGPT, which is wrong half the time, by the way. You like sure, go ahead and do it. I don't think that that's ethical myself. Now, if you want to put something together that you actually know about and use ChatGPT as a base and help, kind of structure something, then yeah, but don't pretend that you're an expert on something that you're not, because I don't, that is like one of the basic problems of the world right now is like
yeah.
people making decisions that they're not qualified to make. Like, don't do that.
Yeah, but
Um,
the things I really don't understand it's how come people fall for these kind of scams. I mean, like again, I'm go back to the BFX. When you buy a course, why don't you check who's that person? Like, well, there's one specifically. I don't know the name, but that this guy that says like, "Oh, I worked for like Marvel and a movie campaign for blah 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 many years, and now I do like this course on how to edit your things on your phone, VFX for using your phone." Then you go check the guy. The guy doesn't have any experience in VFX. Didn't do anything in VFX. He worked for probably titling some commercial for those things,
right,
but it never worked in the industry professionally.
right,
So I mean, like,
right.
what the hell? Like, why are you saying so openly this bullshit that no one is telling you anything? It's like
Right. Yeah.
seriously. And I commented on the guy and said, like, seriously, man, I don't see any of your information in IMDb or LinkedIn about you being in any of these movies. What the hell are you talking about? Guess what? My comment get always deleted.
Oh, yeah. Well, let's talk about that for a minute, because the reason we met is because you commented on the LinkedIn post that
Yeah,
I think it was the Victor
Victor. Yeah,
post. So, and the context of that was the CGI, the lie
yeah,
again, the lie
yeah,
that, oh, we don't have CGI, or,
yeah.
heavily downplaying CGI in movies or visual effects in general in movies. Um, And you were saying something like, "Oh, it's actually also our
Yeah.
responsibility and how we respond." So, I mean, what do you suggest? Like, what is your suggestion on how to deal with that?
I mean that's a very good one. It's over 2 years that I'm fighting, and I'm like exposing myself on LinkedIn and other social media talking about these things. I also made like one entire video of like 11 minutes about this, following whatever Jonas Husing did like in his series. I don't know if you watch it, like is a Rabbit Black Hole. I think is his YouTube channel. But anyway, he did like a big series about this, exposing this kind of stuff. And I did something similar, but much more, let's say, in a angry way. Not angry, but I mean like in a more like let's try to fight this. So a call
Right.
to action for a call to action for all our industry. The point is, I received so much support in private. I had people
Yeah.
write me in private on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, thanking me. They're all scared.
Yeah.
People in our industry are scared as shit to lose their job because they speak their mind.
Yeah.
What's
It's
the
really hard.
solution? I don't have a solution. For me, the solution is like speak out loud because we are
Yeah.
the star. We are the one making the VFX. Without us, there's no VFX. No question asked. So, I mean, like, if you think you're replaceable, probably because you are replaceable and everyone is replaceable. But if you're scared of being yourself, of saying what you want to say, and you're not saying anything bad rather than, oh, this movie has VFX, I worked on it. obviously you need to understand if you can say it or not based on your NDA with your company. But if the company already put it out like the behind the scene, repost it and say, oh, you see this article, this is our behind the scene of the project. Mesh the things together. So we need to be more loud about what we do and what we don't. And honestly, I mean, like, if I was in the position of being able to choose what director to work with, I would go with the director that respects us. I would blacklist, honestly, that kind of actors or production or directors that are not honest about what they are doing. And I had this big situation when this all happened. Basically, this all started when Nolan started to hide the fact that he used uh, VFX in Oppenheimer. Now we want to play with the word what VFX is, what CGI is. We were like playing with it. Come on, the guy knows exactly what CGI and VFX are. Is over 10 years
Yeah,
of
I mean,
using them.
he worked at DNEG. He knows what VFX
You
are.
work with DNEG. So if you work with a company that does VFX, you did VFX in your movies.
Yeah.
Now, let's be honest and say you filmed 100 of footages. Now, I'm not saying it's not true, but did you compose it in Nuke? That's VFX. That's it.
Yeah.
End of the story.
Mhm.
So there's no discussion happening. So why you have to, no, we didn't use CGI. So what, CGI is, Nuke is not considered CGI?
Yeah,
What is
people,
that?
the average, the audience members, the average audience member might not know the difference between VFX and CGI.
That's exactly what I
So
tried to explain in
it's
my
a
video
sleight of
also.
hand. Yeah, it's a
But
sleight of
that's
hand.
done purposely.
Yes,
So
it is.
you're viciously saying it, trying to hide what you really wanted to say. So you
Yeah.
wanted to pretend you didn't use any digital because he always liked to be, oh, I'm the guy that does do everything. Like now we use the IMAX, always use IMAX, 70 millimeters, blah, blah. Yeah, sure. You're an amazing amazing film director, an amazing filmmaker. You know your shit. No one is telling you that. What we want is the recognition of what we do on our side. Because if then everything you do comes through a digital pipeline, that's CGI, is computer generated imagery. It goes into computer, it's CGI. That's it. End of the story by definition. You do color, it's CGI. You do edit, it's CGI. You do nuke, it's CGI. Don't bullshit me.
Yeah, and the digital intermediate, I mean, it's still, we still call it that. We call it the DI,
Yeah.
which stands for digital, just for, audience members who may not know, like digital intermediate. All films are put through a digital intermediate. Unless you're in some art house cinema somewhere, in some film club where you're doing the Bell and Howell stuff that I did when I was in film school, you're doing a digital intermediate. Everything that you're shooting is passing through a digital intermediate. It's all digital. All of the projectors, except for a few cinemas, okay, let's call them a few hundred cinemas in North America. I know in Italy it's a bit different, but it's all digital. The projectors are digital. Everything's digital. So let's not, and
But,
the
but there's
scripts are
nothing
written.
wrong with digital.
There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with
yes,
it.
you did it with the real film. Then the film was canned and became digital.
And became digital.
It doesn't put anything out of your amazing filmmaking capacity as a director.
Well, that's the thing. It's like the film should speak for itself.
Yeah.
Is the film good or is the film not good?
Do you really think that people give a shit about the fact that you in what was Interstellar, you did the dust for real or the dust was fake or whatever? If it works on camera, it's fine. If it works in the final movie projection, it's fine. Whatever is digital or not, you don't need to underline it. There's no need to do the distinction. If the explosion is real or is fake, sure, if you can do it real, do it. But obviously you didn't do a nuclear explosion for real. So
exactly.
But
Victor and I were talking about that also.
People at some point, they were almost believing that he did like the nuclear explosion for real. Guys, are you fucking dumb?
Yeah, guys, think about it.
Yeah, but that's the problem. I mean, so why we need to start with this all bad CGI things, or if it's CGI is bad, why you need to hide when you clearly use it?
Well, that's
It's a
hurtful.
tool.
That's what I was saying, and somebody else commented and whatever, saying like, "Oh, what's the point? Who cares?" Well, I care
I
because
care. It's
it's
my job.
my it's my craft, it's my livelihood, it's my the way I feed my children, it's the way that I choose to express myself is through this beautiful art, and it is an art called visual effects, and I think it is like it's magical being, and this is another
Absolutely.
reason I go in to see things on the big screen is like, like I work on client side, so I'm there right from the beginning. The earliest meetings, the earliest scouts and figuring everything out all in those early days, and seeing the film go from just a script to the meetings to
Yeah.
filming to like it is
It's
truly
your moving
magic.
picture. I mean, like, you can work on a project for 2, 3 years, even
Yeah.
4 years sometimes. And
Yeah, and
you tell
seeing
me
it take
who
shape.
cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? You're like deprivating me of 3 years of my life. You're
Yeah,
canceling, you're deleting 3 years of my life. Like I don't value
like I don't
anything.
exist. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, that's
It's
absolutely.
tough on
So
the soul. Yeah.
why it's so important for you to say that you're using the 7 millimeters camera? Who the hell cares? Who the hell you use? Like what camera you use or what like film you use or whatever. And it's not important that if I was not there, the movie was not the same.
Yeah,
So it's the
yeah.
same thing as you. If we're not there, I'm not comparing myself to Nolan, but come on, guys, it's the same thing. Or Nolan
Yeah.
or whatever other director, like when Christopher Waltz say that kind of bad jokes, CGI is for losers. That all started from that, by the way. My video, the CGI is for loser bullshit. I mean, like, why you need to? Why it's like saying like acting is for loser. Would you like it? No, you would not like it. If I go in a conference worldwide and I say, "Oh, acting is for loser. Now we do everything in CGI. We don't need actors." Would you like it, or would you be upset, or would you say something?
There would be a global um
Absolutely, I would be globally
meltdown.
cancelled. I would be globally cancelled for the gut to say something like that. So, be respectful for someone
Yeah.
else's job because
And that's what
we
it
are
comes down
all part
to
of the same
is
thing.
yeah, and that's I guess what it comes down to is respect. Just be respectful. You don't have to, it's not hard, and it doesn't cost anything actually. Just to be to have a baseline of respect.
Yeah, and I
So,
remember I remember about these things about the respect and about this CGI thing. There are also two other episodes in the video that I did that are like very hurting. One is when Ang Lee and Life of Pi he won the Oscar for
yeah,
VFX
that was
and
very
rhythm and
tough.
use failed back in the day. First of
Yeah.
all, in his speech, he never ever thanked the VFX crew. Never in the speech. He
Yeah.
thanked everyone, even including like almost like his driver. And I thank
Yeah.
everyone except the VFX. Your movie without VFX would be like a guy in a boat with a stuffed toy.
Yeah, the
Life of
befores
Pi
and
without,
afters.
yeah,
The
I mean,
befores and
like
afters are
seriously, man. I mean, like,
amazing.
and then the Academy that cutted the audio of the guys from Rhythm and Use that were trying to say they were like in financial difficulties and they were like, uh, bankruptcy because of the fact that Ang Lee was asking them like continuous things and they didn't pay for the overtime and they went bankruptcy. And the second episode was like, and I was like the CG supervisor on Cats when the two nice, lovely Rebel Wilson and James Gordon went on the stage of the Academy Award dressed up like cats, making fun of cats, saying that the problem of cats was the bad VFX while the problem of cats was many other things rather than bad VFX. So, I mean,
Oh,
like
I
that,
didn't see that. Oh my
I,
God.
will- I will send you the link of my video so you can see all of. The point is like that's the thing. I mean, like, why you need to spit on my job? Why you need to spit on my face? Why you need to be so openly disrespectful, laughing about me when you know exactly we are not the problem because we don't do anything wrong. If the decision comes and the request comes and the feedback comes, it doesn't come from me, come from the director.
Yeah.
If Hopper didn't know anything about VFX and he fucked up the entire project, and then they tried to put us on the bad side because it's easy because we don't have any face. No one knows who does VFX.
Hmm.
Even Academy Awards, multiple Academy Award for VFX, no one knows who are the Academy Award for VFX other than people that work in the VFX industry. So you can say, oh, it was VFX fault. No one can tell you anything because no one knows who's VFX is. They don't know the companies. They don't know the VFX supervisor. They don't know the artist. They don't know anyone. So it's easy to
Well,
say like blame bad CGI is easy because you're not blaming anyone specifically.
I know. That's why I tried to start this podcast, because I just wanted people to know that we're people.
Yeah,
And, it's like we are we are people, and we're working on these sometimes hopefully great projects, sometimes not so great, but that's another subject. Has nothing to do with the VFX sometimes. I mean, or, usually it comes down to the story and the filmmaking, and we're there trying to make it better.
fix it in post.
Yeah, yeah, you can't fix the script in post, although you
No.
kind of can with reshoots, but,
Yeah, but tell me about
again,
that.
yeah, yeah. But that's yeah.
Honestly, I've never seen a movie came out well after it's shooting. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, like,
Yeah, you have to fix it in the script.
yeah,
It's, the story and the spirit, and again, that comes down to the spirit of the story and the like, what is the point? You can't just make slop because you want to make money. You have to have a story to tell, and the
but that's the
story
thing. I mean,
is
like,
yeah,
but that's the problem. I mean, like, when you do a movie, you do a movie because you want to tell a story or you want to make money.
yeah,
So when you want to make money, then you want to please everyone. Then you do 7, 8 family and friend screens to ask people of
yeah,
different kind of age and ethnical origin and everything what they think about your movie. Seriously? I mean, like, what's the point in that? Back in
mm,
the day, you were taking risk. You were telling your story, and if people like your story were going to see to the movie, and your movie became like something famous. Now it's not that. It's not storytelling. It's money making.
yeah,
That's the big problem. When you do a money making, there's no soul, no script, no anything. You just try to please everyone, do a little bit of action, and then you did the movie. Sure, good. And then what? You did some money. Okay, cool, nice.
yeah,
But
yeah.
that's not storytelling. That's not movie making. That's money making. That's a different
Well,
story.
The Europeans are still making films, and they're still, I mean, I have a lot of hope actually for the independent scene, because as cameras get smaller and, as they get more, the chips, the sensors and everything else get more and more, I'll just put it this way, cinematic. Um, it really is. We're almost like in a new age of independent storytelling, where an average
Absolutely.
person, just like me, like I'm shooting something soon, just on a regular camera, and just like 4 people, and it's just like people can go and just do it now, like the
Absolutely.
Dogma, it's like the new Dogma. I remember in the 90s they were doing those Dogma films on video cameras.
Yeah.
It's like that, except the cameras are better now, and so um I have a lot of hope for that, because there's so many people with amazing stories to tell, but
And
they're stuck behind a glass ceiling.
that's
um
uh, that's exactly another thing that I was hoping to talk about. It's the evolution also of the effects.
yeah,
So, like you said before, I don't think we need any more companies of 1,000 people, 1,500 people. If you have a company of like 20 people, 30 people, high skilled professional that know what they're doing, and they speak, like, look at the example of Godzilla minus one. They won the Oscar for VFX. 30 people. They work close by to production and direction in the same studio.
well, he was the
Everything
director, right?
exactly,
The supervisor was the
exactly.
director.
Everything everywhere all at once. They did like an amazing movie. They didn't won Oscar for VFX. They won the Oscar for the movie. But the VFX were at the service of the movie. They were
Yeah,
very well done. Nothing like that you can like take your hair out of your head. But I mean, like, was well done. Was at the service of the movie. And was done with 5 people with After
wow.
Effects, playing around,
Oh, I
like
didn't know that.
practical. They did like a lot of practical experimentation, and that's what I think we should go also with VFX. VFX should go more back to boutique kind of group of people of collaboration or online use of AI. Sure, why not at the service of the project? Use of new technology. There are so many. Unreal, like, it's one example, and the virtual production could be one example. Also, virtual production, the way it got sold to the clients and everything. I mean, bullshit. There are very few cases where virtual production can be used as final pixel, while many things can need to be redone again because they didn't plan it properly. Again, other stories, huh? But the point is, if you take close together again directors and post production, and they embrace the same idea and the same story, you can have indie project that can beat badly Hollywood project because they're gonna have
Yeah.
good stories, good VFX at the service of the story. Nothing like I don't need 200 aliens that destroy the city. And even if I need it, look at Godzilla -1. They did some practical, they did some real one, they did some VFX, whatever. But you can find a solution if we go back to the storytelling, if you go back to the filmmaker and the passionate people about the industry, how to use the latest technology in CG. There are many new tools that can be used to automate certain kind of processes. That's what I'm exploring right now. At the moment, I'm working on a little trailer for a bigger project with a couple of friends of mine, and I'm using like latest technology like Gaussian splattings rather than AI, rather than other things, to show that in the production, if you have only a couple of millions, you can do a movie, a
Yeah.
very good one. You just need to go choose the right people to work with, do a very good collaboration, and everyone will be much more happy than work on a blockbuster 200 million movies where you need to stay there to pixel fuck the things while instead you can do something very creative. That's the difference.
Yeah.
We need to
And
go
work
back to
on the
use
script.
creativity and filmmaking passion, and this obviously the basic. That I'm not even considering it. For me, is the basic. A good script is the basic. If you don't have a good story to tell,
Then don't tell
don't
it.
tell it. It's as easy for me. Is as easy as that. I mean, like, come on,
Yeah.
guys. It's called
Yeah.
storytelling. You need to have a
Yeah.
story first. If there's no story, there's no point. I mean, like, I'm not a good storyteller in terms of like, I don't create stories. I'm good in my job. So I need someone to come and do this job. So you come, you bring your knowledge. If you are also the director and you have to be director is not that you take the camera. You need to have the vision and you need to communicate that vision. So when you give me that vision, I can help you to put that vision on the screen with the use of VFX. You come to me, you explain me your vision, we get into it together. It's something that we need to build together. That's what we are missing, the close relationship
Yeah.
between who wants to make the movie and all the other steps to make the movie. We all need to be close, not far away. Now it's like you do this and then yeah, sure, we give it to you and then you give it. No, it cannot be like that because otherwise I'm not going to get into the project. I'm not going to
Yeah.
get like affectionate to the project and I'm not going to feel it as mine and not going to come out well.
Yeah. Visual effects is not Uber Eats of films. It's, it's you're in the kitchen. You're making the meal with
It's a
everybody
partnership.
together. It's
It's
a
a full
partnership.
partnership.
Yeah.
As you said, it's a kitchen. So there's the
Yeah.
chef, the sous chef. Everyone is equally important because if you break the chain, that's where things go wrong. So you need to, again, go back. And I really have big hope for indie production, also on the VFX side. Small indie studios, small independent studios that can turn on and off their machines on Amazon, so they don't spend money when they don't use it. You have the project, you come in, we discuss, we have the budget, we agree on the budget. With the budget, we know exactly what we're going to do and what kind of techniques we're going to use on that thing. And then we're going to turn on the machine, do the stuff. Everyone is happy. We do an amazing project and boom, done. Amazing movie. For
Yeah.
me, it's as easy as that, but we
Yeah.
need to go back to that.
Yeah. Back to first principles.
Yeah, back to
Really.
fundamentals.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Exactly. What advice would you give to, say, like a new up and coming person who's just interested in filmmaking, interested in being a part of visual effects or filmmaking in general? What do you have to say to them?
As I said, first of all, look back at what we did and the foundational knowledge of everything. So that's basic of if you want to work in VFX, you need to know the basic of CG, where it all start from, and the first kind of like smoke and mirrors trick that we're using back in the day that when they were doing like let's call VFX in the 30s and the 40s. Uh, if you are like a filmmaker, obviously you need to know movies historical movies, cult movies, you need to watch them, even the black and white ones. You need to watch them to see what was. I mean, like we said before, I mean, like I can bet money I cannot have a new, a, a young kid nowadays watching like Blade Runner, the original one, from start to finish without using their phone. I can bet money they're not going to be able to because it's so slow in a pace and it's so intimate as a project that so they have to break their mentality of being like obsessed with the thing, with the phone, and then the fast pace. But also, I mean, like they have curiosity is one of the first things. They have to be curious. They have to be passionate. What I don't see in many people nowadays that why you do this job you do because you think it's cool, because you're gonna have your name on Instagram and you're gonna put it on Facebook that you work on this and that movie, or because you really like this job. Because that's what really can make a difference. Because if you are really passionate about what you're doing, you're gonna study, you're gonna do it, you're gonna make better, get better and better and better. For you to be like it was maybe for many of us, like I don't know, Jurassic Park or whatever it was back in the day, that many people says like, oh, I got inspired by that, but can be the sparkle, but cannot be just to be in that movie. You need to be like very passionate about this industry in general. So whatever is photography, whatever is production, whatever is your passion about this thing, you need, I mean, whatever, if you have passion, that's what I would say. If you have passion, because if you
Yeah.
don't, I don't think it's the right job. Because
Find the
most of
thing
the
that's
time,
your
yeah.
yeah, find the thing that you are passionate about.
And also
And
find
that's for
find a
everybody.
way to understand if you are good. Also,
What's that?
because I
Sorry? What
mean,
did you say?
find if you are good in it. Because many people maybe they say that they are passionate, but maybe they're not good. So I mean, like talent is also part of the thing. I mean, like, you can learn a lot of things, but
Yeah.
try to understand if you have the talent for the thing. So maybe you say like, oh, I want to be a football player. I want to be Ronaldo. Not everyone can be Ronaldo because you need to have the good, like the talent as Ronaldo. So I'm not
Yeah.
saying one of the other, but I mean, like, try to understand if what you're driven to, you're also good at. Because I have like a lot of people say, I would love to be character artist. Okay, did you try to sketch up something? I mean, if you're able to do like a sticky man and that's it, not sure you're gonna be able to do character artist, but you can try, you can learn, you can. But if instead you have already something that it's obviously your talent, try to express your talent in the proper way. It's a mix of things. So I mean, like, but in general,
Yeah.
it's like passion, talent, and willing to study, to continue to search, to look for new things. And I mean, visual curiosity is, as you said, like you need to travel, you need to go watch movies, museum, art in general, and whatever
Yeah.
inspires you, open books or photography just to see what other people did and this kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Yeah, there's this book called The Talent Code, which
Mhm.
someone recommended to me. So
I
I
don't know.
recommend it to
No.
anyone listening. And it basically says exactly what you just said, which is um, loads and loads of practice, as well as a spark of inspiration. But really practice and micro practicing. So micro learning from your mistakes. So anyway, I won't give it all away. It's really interesting. I have the audiobook. It's on Spotify. If anyone has Spotify Premium, you can just listen to it while you're driving or on the transit or whatever. If you're on transit in Toronto, you'll be there a long time. So, you can probably listen to the whole book. um, but anyway, I digress. It's really great. It really is an eye-opening thing as well for parents and yeah, follow your passions. It's so important because life is super short. So you have to be
Oh,
doing something that you really, really want to do. Um,
yeah.
and yeah, get off the phone. The phone isn't going to tell you what your passions are. Living life is going to tell you what your passions are. So, and meditation probably. But anyway, well, let's talk again maybe, and maybe in another little bit and things, and just to see progress and see where
Whenever
things
you
are at.
want, I'm always, or if there's any specific topic that will develop in the next couple of months, let me know. Or if you want to have like a group one,
Oh
we can have
yeah.
like a circle chat.
I
That
thought
will
about
be
doing an in-person one at some point where maybe we have like five of us or something in a studio. I can't
yeah.
do it here. But and just bringing us all together in the same room and having, a more lively discussion with, and maybe a bit of controversy. Maybe some people disagree with each other, which is totally normal and expected and actually welcome because it's more interesting that way. But yeah,
I don't see that's maybe another topic, but that's one thing that I notice. People, not all people are comfortable with controversy. Actually, very few people are
yeah,
comfortable with not agreeing with each other. People tend to fly away from discussion or controversy because they don't want to expose themselves. Sometimes
yeah,
people are just scared of saying what they think because they don't
yeah,
want to be judged or they don't want to be labeled as whatever. You can say whatever you want, but I mean, like, people are scared nowadays, especially because now it's becoming a bit better. But a couple of years ago was very like everything politically correct. Pay attention to whatever you say because you can offend someone. And I'm sorry, but I cannot control what I think or what I say. Yes,
mm,
until a certain extent. If someone get offended because of the way he, she, or they interpret what I thought or what I said, I cannot control like how people feel about what I can say. If they
yeah, yeah.
tell me directly, oh, you offended me for this reason. If I see that is offensive, I will ask you sorry. But if I don't see it as offensive, I will not say that's a very complicated discussion. So
Yeah,
let's
it is. That is a whole other thing. It is,
yeah,
yeah, it's tough because you don't wanna get canceled. There was, like, a lot of cancellations happening, and
yeah.
yeah, it makes you wanna hide under a rock and not say anything because you don't wanna rock the boat at all.
Like I said, like people that were writing to me privately to say, "Oh, thank you very much for posting these things and defending our industry and blah blah blah." I said, like, why don't you do so? Oh,
Yeah,
because I'm scared that they're gonna like see my message and fire me and do this and do that. Okay, sure. So what are you waiting for? For other people to fight your battle and that's it? You
yeah,
know.
yeah. Well, I'm a freelancer, so nobody can fire me currently. So, I'm like, "Here we
I
go.
mean,
I'm gonna just make a
work
podcast."
if you work in an industry or in a company where you're scared to get fired because you are speaking up your mind, better you change industry. I'm not saying that I want to insult people and get out of it without any
No,
consequences. I'm
no,
just talking
I
about
don't get that
if I'm
vibe, yeah.
saying that we deserve respect in our industry and my company fires me because I said that, there's something very wrong with it.
Yeah,
I'm defending my
100%.
industry. So if you are
Mhm.
scared of being fired because you liked my comments or you comment under my, not even like, again, people were scared of commenting positively under my post because it would be automatically agreeing with me. And
Yeah,
then I mean, like, seriously, guys, I mean, like, okay, sure, sure, do whatever you want. Thank you for the
yeah.
support in silence, but sure.
Alright, well, this is everyone's invitation to please rise up and speak up
Yeah,
because you only get one life and you can't spend it hiding. So,
absolutely.
all right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you putting yourself out there because
Thank you very much,
it
Stacey.
does seem like it comes easy to you, but it doesn't come easy to everybody, certainly not me. And I appreciate that you're doing that. And so thank you for coming here and thank you for posting your
You
videos and
know,
everything else. We'll link them
again,
below.
thank you. Thank you very much for having me. And again, I've been raised like this. If something doesn't work with me, I say it. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that I'm right. I'm just saying that if I don't feel comfortable with something, I will say it out loud. That's it.
Yeah.
I paid
That's great.
consequences for that. I know that I paid consequences for being who I am, but I prefer to be able to look in the mirror and feel myself rather than put my heads in the sands and have a job or whatever. No, it's not
Yeah.
me.
Well, I commend you. Congratulations to your parents or whoever taught you to be that way.
Thank you.
Okay,
My
well,
parents
cool.
in life,
We'll talk.
both.
Yeah. We'll talk again, I'm sure.
It will be absolutely a pleasure. It was a pleasure meeting you for the first time. And when there's this kind of connection, when we share the same kind of like idea and thought, we also share sometimes the same words. So that was very nice. I really appreciate the invite. And whenever you want to invite me again, I will be more than happy to be here.
Sounds great. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye.
Ciao. Bye.